Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So if you're looking at this video clip, you're going to see something. You're going to notice that there's somebody launching explosives and breaking through enemy ranks and taking multiple enemies out with little effort. This build is based on a build that probably most of you know about, but I think because we're still getting used to the content, a lot of this information is coming out slowly and dripping slowly, and a lot of people are not looking at this aspect of building damage builds around skills, because some people have mentioned that skill builds are not necessarily viable and all that. But ladies and gentlemen, I think with this build, that statement and that sentiment is now going to be under some stress testing, because I literally, this person on our team, I'm gonna keep their gamer tag, private, because I want to. And bro, you know who you are. If you want me to just, let it out there, just put a comment, I'll pin it. But I went ahead and actually designed a version of that build, but instead of using all brand sets, which is what this gentleman used, I used hardwire to kind of showcase the basis of this build. You can do it in any way that you like. And yes, I took it out there and I tested this particular build. There's video to show, which will be playing somewhere if you want. I'll probably put it on a small corner here. But look at the build. It's hardwired, which is one of the most versatile skill based gear sets that you can actually use in doing your skill build. Hardwire gives you 15% skill haste for the two-piece, 15% skill damage, and 15% skill repair for the three-piece, which is cluing you to say, go get some more skill damage or more skill repair. We already hooked you up. And if you want to run three, I think if you're doing skill repairs, you can run three pieces of some other brand sets that will grant you some skill repair perks. If you want to do skill damage, you can run another three pieces. So you can go for the four pieces, which gives you the feedback loop, which allows you to refresh your skill whenever you cancel a skill or use one, and then you gain skill damage as well. So the skill damage or skill repair is 10% for 20 seconds. And one of the interesting things is with the backpack and the chest pieces, they have their own talents as well, where if you're using a backpack, this decreases the feedback loop cooldown from 20 to 10 seconds. And then the chest piece, that also cools down. That also increases your skill repair and skill damage to 25% if you're using that. What's really interesting too is there are also skill damage stats on other brand sets as well. The Wyvern Wear gives you 10%. And then you also have explosive damage as well in terms of, or in regard to, as you guys have told me to say, doing damage using this particular item. And the star of the show is this turret right here, which is the Demolitionist turret. It's called the artillery turret, and its damage dealing potential is just mad. Mine has, has pretty much skill tier 6, where I get 90% extra, bonus damage. It's got the skill health is high, 420% health, 50% mortar blast radius, and then I get 6 extra of these mortar rounds. If I could overcharge it, I'll get about 10 of these mortar rounds. I'll get a bunch more blast radius, a bunch more health, and a bunch more damage as well if I can get an overcharge going. I might be able to pull the overcharge off. I think with the Acosta backpack, the damage an enemy with the grenade grants 1 skill tier for 15 seconds. Grants overcharge if already at skill tier 6. I thought about using the Acosta backpack, but I thought, let me go ahead and try this build. And I took it to a legendary mission, and in the opening, I just was shredding through enemy NPCs. They were running all over the place. It felt so good, and it felt like I was doing so much damage, and I just was like, wow, that's crazy. Now, here's where the secret lies. The Demolitionist specialization allows for you to not only get this turret, but also gain a lot of really cool things like explosive ordnance, which increases your explosive damage significantly, another 10%. And this affects all grenades, affects skills, and even effects as well that I think tend to come from this. So this is something that you can also go ahead and leverage as well. Not only do you have these explosives, you also have your specialization, which is the M32A1 multi-shot grenade launcher. So you're not only a skill power player, you're a huge DPS assets to your team, especially in missions that require for you to be able to do that kind of damage. Yes, granted, you'll be sitting in cover, but what you're doing from cover is so important for your team that I don't see how not testing this build out, at least for the first, the first entire half of the mission, and making it much more of a fun encounter. Especially if you're going in with, random match-made groups. You can play a healer role and also play the role of this Demolitionist as well. So I know Jetfort is the Seeker Mind guy, and he always talks about how Hardwired is. In fact, we probably need to buy him a Hardwired hoodie or something, because he just loves Hardwired. I didn't even know that this thing could be so versatile and even come all the way here in transforming your game and your team dynamics to something that looks like this. So if you're running a build like this, please share with me, because I'm not dealing with DPS builds just yet. These enemy NPCs are hitting so hard, and I want to find creative ways to strike back. And so help me with this in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think as well. I mean, I guess some of you might want to get more detail in terms of this build. Let me see what the mods that I was using, and the mods for some reason are out. I have some mods here that allow for skill haste. I was using skill haste mods, and I was also using, I think there was a mod that I had that allowed for me to use, let me see, what is this mod up here? There was another mod I had that allowed for me to use another creative stat in it. Is it the one in the backpack? Might be the one in the backpack. Utility mod. There was one that allowed for me to be able to use something that was not skill haste. Well, maybe it was skill haste I was using all through. But if I was doing a healer build, I'll definitely be using the repair skills mods or if I was doing maybe on one hand I had my hive that was giving health, my healer hive, and on another hand I had this, then I'll be using the repair skills because I just gain more. I mean, look, I have the 17% ones. These drop in the open world. They've been dropping more in heroic missions as well. And I know mods are bugged. I just feel like we could have standardized modding systems in the recalibration library. That would really help as well. So, like I said in the comment section, let me hear what you think about this particular build. If you're running it, if you think there's a better version of this, then let me know as well. I have his version, but because I'm keeping him, making sure I don't, put somebody's stuff out there and don't want it to be there, I just made sure that I did that and presented you guys with another alternative. But still, the basis of the build stands that a damage explosion build of this kind is very viable. And I know the Seeker Minds don't seem powerful, and I think they wanted to make sure that the Seeker Minds were not cheese. This one you actually have to aim, so I think that's actually why it's that powerful. You actually have to do the aiming yourself and make sure that you're planting those ordinances in the right positions to achieve maximum effect. So I'll get out of your hair. Thank you very much for your time and audience. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. I appreciate you guys for watching all my videos and for pushing me closer to getting 25,000 subs currently. All right, peace out.